Welcome to the Cinema Gold Show. I'm your host, Larry Leese. Today we're diving back into a classic rewind with our review of Major League. First, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Poddex, for sponsoring this episode. Poddex are unique interview questions and episode starting prompts in the palm of your hand. So whether you're a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com and use the promo code Larry21 for 10% off your first order. It's LARRY21 for 10% off your first purchase. And one of my favorite decks is the Would You Rather. It makes for a fun, entertaining episode for your podcast, so check them out today at poddex.com. And now let's dive into our review of Major League. Probably one of my favorite sports movies of all time. There's nothing more relatable than the shrug off, and that's the majesty of Major League. David Ward's 1989 baseball comedy is all about contending with that existential malaise, the lingering regrets, the bruised doubts, the crumpled dreams we've slipped in our back pockets next to pieces of gum. It's a feeling you see on the faces of every beleaguered has-been in his dugout. Men so had they are willing to just take the bruise and roll with the quip. That is until they start to try to, or win the whole fucking thing. That feeling extends beyond the ballpark though, which is why Major League works so well. There's so much economy in Ward's screenplay, which has a batting average of .366 from beginning to end, all of which he matches with this equally economical direction. Look no further than those opening shots. As Randy Newman wheezes through his Midwestern ballad, Burnin' On, we watch Cleveland unfold under smoky skies and over tranquil city streets. You can feel its history, but also its years of dread. This isn't an opening that distills the story down to its essentials. These are the essentials. Without sounding pedantic, Cleveland is the main character, and Ward never loses sight of that scope. All throughout the film, we see the city's reactions to nearly every step of the Indians' unlikely Cinderella story. Sure, it's mostly played for laughs, particularly the reoccurring bits involving Neil Flynn's foul-mouthed construction worker or the two cynical groundskeepers, but there's a world being built. Within that world, however, are a rogue's gallery of characters that are all going through similar motions. Tom Berenger's 40-something Jake Taylor wants that unlikely fourth chance. Both Charlie Sheen's bad boy Rick Wild Thing Vaughn and Wesley Snipes' speedy Willie Mays Hayes wants their first fair shot at life. Rene Russo's Lynn Weslin wants to grow up and move on. And yes, even Corbin Burnson's yuppie scum Roger Dorn wants something more than interior decorating. This is an ensemble of starving heroes, and they're never alone in that hunger. What's more, they're all leaning on their own voices, which Ward paints to varying degrees of insanity. Dennis Haysbert's heavy hitter Pedro Serrano seeks answers from his voodoo idol Jobu. Bob Uecker's wisecracking broadcaster Harry Doyle treats whiskey like cologne. And Chelsea Ross's aging pitcher Eddie Harris resorts to anything from Vagisil to jalapeno to even snot to get his curveballs over the plate. The struggle is real in Major League. That's why so many of us can sit back and laugh. We're all in this shit together. And Ward never suggests otherwise, consistently reeling back and forth in scope, from the nearby bars to the downtown districts to the industrial outskirts of town. There's this assuredly American feeling coursing throughout this movie, one that suggests we're all in this great big old melting pot of disappointment. And that mutual discontent is ultimately what binds us together. It's a timeless feeling for every American out there. No doubt aided by the fact that Ward delivered the most adult comedy possible. Because really, despite what its embarrassing PG-rated sequel may suggest, Major League isn't really for the yawning kids in the grandstand. No, this is a comedy born out of the bruises of life. The mean age in this cast is, 40? And that veteran outlook is paramount to its success. There's just so much dilapidated wisdom in every scene, and that wisdom speaks volumes as we age. Scenes change, characters shift into focus, and newer themes emerge with each passing watch. There's less humor and more humility with rebels like Bond and Mays. The Sam and Diane chase between Jake and Lynn feels more earned. Dorn being shaken down in his living room by Jake hold even more significance. That's the timeless muscle of Ward's community, all of which he flexes at the very end. By then, the weight on everyone's shoulders is also on yours. That's why the second Taylor bunts, you're also sitting there with bated breath, even if you've seen how it goes down 1,000 times. You lose yourself in James Newton Howard's hypnotic blend of synths and piano. You wince with Taylor as his knees shatter on first base. You swing your legs up as May slides home. You jump up and down in tears like Doyle. You laugh with Dorn and Vaughn. You get up and rewind it all again. This one film definitely goes the yard. And I'd have to give it a A-. Now let's take a look at probably my favorite moment of Major League.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
And now, before we wrap up, I'd like to let you know how you can become involved in the show. You can join our Patreon, patreon.com/cinemagold. You can buy me a coffee, buymeacoffee.com/cinemagold. Follow us on Twitter if you look up top, at Cinema Gold Show. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Cinema Gold Show Podcast. You can like us on Instagram at The Cinema Gold Show and become a sponsor. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor for this podcast, you can send me an email. The email address is in the show notes. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.